And then the second, you might not see it. And then there is this green arrow coming from here to here, whether they are video projectors. Again, of course, now 100% of schools would have video projectors compared to 98. And then the difference between schools are very small. Okay, so all schools would have video projectors. But then, okay, and then these are, what are the software? So all these are in terms of the general, say, that means PowerPoint, multimedia applications, Word, Excel, and those things. They are all moving towards 100%, and then the standard deviation is basically very small, okay? But if you look at some other arrows, then these are more, say, simulations, data logging, instructional software selection, email. Yes. So these are the things, so email for students, email accounts for students. So all these have increased, but also the difference between schools have not been reduced. And this one, simulations, has increased. That means more schools have, slightly more schools have simulations. But the difference across schools is getting bigger. So that means more subject-specific, more learning and teaching specific things are having bigger differences across schools. Okay. A second set of questions we asked the principals was whether certain professional development courses are available to teachers in the school. And then we find that now these are more so these are the more teaching-related courses. So these are this is the pedagogical use of computers. This is subject specific training. So these have increased a lot. And then the availability also, the standard deviation has reduced. So they are available. And then these are more technical courses, and they are all also available. And the availability, the standard deviation is actually decreasing. So technical courses, they are much more available. Okay. Now we asked the principals about the vision and whether there is a lot of these lifelong learning type of activity, learning activity going on in the school. Now when we asked them the vision, we asked them in 98, we asked them in 2006, and we find that, first of all have increased somewhat. So principals are saying that we have this vision, okay? And then the standard deviation have decreased. So that means most principals say that this is important, okay? Lifelong learning and connectedness. But if you look at the presence, it has increased. But then the standard deviation also increased a lot. So that means even according to the principal's own report about what is available, then, so since 2000 we have a reform. So to me, it indicates there is some impact, at least as far as the principals see it. But then the difference is getting much bigger. And then obstacles. What kind of obstacles are available? Okay. Now you can see that this is according to the principals, okay? We ask the principals and we also ask the technology coordinators. For the principals, you can see that some of the lines have gone to the left. That means to them, these obstacles have become less serious, okay? And there are things like not enough digital resources, teachers lack knowledge, not enough support staff, and so on. So we have improved in the infrastructure, the training to teachers, and also support, technical support. But then, some have even increased, and you see also, all these errors, you see, it's a different pattern compared to the pattern we saw in terms of infrastructure, isn't it? The standard deviation has moved, all gone up, right? So that means the obstacles experienced by the principals, the spread has become much bigger. And the obstacles which has increased, this one is difficult to integrate computers into classroom teaching. And this one is lack support from school board. Now I don't understand. I was very surprised by this. So maybe the school boards think that it's done. We have computers already. So mission accomplished. I've heard that before from someone. Okay? So, and then according to the technical coordinators, that is very consistent. All the arrows have gone. So the mean in terms of experienced obstacles have been reduced. But also the standard deviation is getting much, much bigger. Okay? So that means before, because we're just starting, so all schools find it very difficult. But now some schools have find it much less difficult, but some have still find it not too different. It's still a lot of difficulty. Okay, so that was the leadership, the school level. What about teachers? What do teachers say? We asked them, what kind of professional development do you still need? Okay? The ones which are definitely seeing a decrease. Okay, so because this is the mean. So these are, so the mean, so teachers who still say that they need this kind of professional development is much smaller in terms of percentage. That is using multimedia. This one is using the internet. So how do you use the internet? How do you create multimedia? But then, there are some which actually have increased. So how to integrate ICT in teaching and learning? How to assess and select software for learning and teaching. That is still increased. Okay? So, and then we ask teachers, how do you rate your own competence in using ICT? Okay? And we find that there is a huge increase in self-reported competence and a big drop in the standard deviation in terms of the more technical competencies. So word processing, making presentation, spreadsheet, communicating with others using internet, email, that kind of thing. They've all improved tremendously. But in terms of the pedagogical use, it's also that using ICT to monitor students' progress and using internet and the World Wide Web. They have also improved. But the standard deviation, these two are more pedagogically oriented. And again, the standard deviation is increased so much. So that means the difference between schools, across schools, is much bigger whenever we are going towards the more directly teaching and learning related things. Overall curriculum goal.